when we say a lot of the wars, feuds, conflicts in Africa are funded by the West and by these nations that have an interest in these countries, and they want us to keep fighting, so they steal our resources, they steal our people and steal our lands. We're not lying. This is a great example of that, even though the British Army doesn't want to share the information, the details of the former soldier that was caught dealing arms in Nigeria, allegedly fueling tribal feud by providing arms to those that are fighting in the name of tribe, has now been arrested in Nigeria. And well done, Nigeria. According to Punch Nigeria, the individual that was arrested was identified, and he served as a junior rank in the UK Armed Forces Reserves, but was discharged. In a statement, the British said, "We have a Common Law and Data Protection Act duty to protect the personal details of our current and former employees, and are therefore not able to release any additional information in this matter," end quote. The Punch also reported that a British Army officer was allegedly recruited to procure weapons and ammunition intended to fuel tribal tensions in the oil-rich region, Nigeria. However, the DSS operatives from the Delta Command were said to have foiled the move and arrested the arms supplier during a covert exchange near Asaba, Delta State. During the operation, over 50 AK-47 rifles, 6 pump-action shotguns, and more than 3,000 rounds of ammunition were confiscated. The former UK soldier, on the other hand, was intercepted in Lagos as he attempted to board a flight to the UK, while his associates were apprehended in Asaba during the operation. And you know what the British High Commission focused on when this story came out and when the former soldier was arrested? They said, the report is false. And people are like, oh, so this guy was never a soldier, this guy is not British? They're like, no. He was a soldier, but he's no longer in the army, so the story is false. How does that make sense? Okay, he's not really an active soldier. So what? You're denying it as if that person was never a soldier. And on top of that, the British High Commission refused to share information about this person because they said it's against the law. They have to protect their personnel details and information. After this man was involved and was arrested while trying to deal arms to fuel tribal fights and wars in Nigeria, in the oil-rich region. Do you understand what we're talking about here? But then again, the British want to focus on, no. You know, he was discharged. Okay, he was discharged. Let's say former soldier. He still was caught selling arms to fuel, allegedly, tribal war. How is this not a bigger story than it is? How are you focusing on he was discharged? Let's focus on one of yours, your national, was involved in fueling a tribal war in another country. This is a diplomatic issue. This is huge. This should get attention more than it's getting. Unfortunately, they are going to focus on the British High Commission denied. Denied what? They make it sound like they denied that this happened by their own, and they want to make it seem like it's a lie, which it's not. The only information that was out that was not really true, aside from the arrest, aside from him trying to deal arms, is that he is no longer serving in the army, which we don't know. That's what they're telling us. They said he's been discharged, but do we really know for sure that he was not an active soldier? That's also something to think about because they're refusing to share his information details. Anyways, fam, let us know down below what your thoughts are about this. I am Wongel Zelalem. I'll see you on the next one.